Here.
Mrs. Cosmo.
Here.
Here.
Mrs. Bryant.
Here.
Mr. Reno.
Here.
So this means
Mr. Feller.
okay.
Mr. Mansky.
Here.
Mr. Uhoff.
Here.
Mr. Zeller.
Here.
I'd like to announce the executive session that's held tonight, August 25th, dealing with contract negotiations and litigation. Is there any public comment directed to the board on the agenda items only?
Cindy DeLuca.
Oh, no, not this one.
Thanks, Cindy DeLuca, Hazleton. I'm questioning on item number 90, it's the settlement agreement. I'd like to know what the compensatory, education cost is, along with the cost of any private placement tuition. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Manolo?
Stephanie Dillman, but it doesn't have what item you're talking about.
I signed the wrong thing, that's my fault, I apologize.
Okay, Sierra Ferris.
Hello, good afternoon. My question today is, as well as the community, is what kind of federal monies is being approved for the school district? And why is our school district still currently under a Title I funding program when it should be under Title III?
Thank you.
What is that?
That's it.
Okay, need a motion to approve the board meeting
Motion.
minutes
Second.
from June. Are we gonna do all three?
Yeah.
Okay, the meeting minutes will be June 23rd, July 21st, August 11th. Motion by Mr. Bonomo, second by Mrs. Cosmo. On the question. Mr. Romano.
All in favor of approving the board minutes? Say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Motion approved.
Thank you. Dr. Uplinger?
Okay, letter G, FYI, just for those of you that are interested, we are on Saturday having a giveaway to the public at the new Arts and Humanities building, which will be located down in Butler County next to our STEM building. So if you're interested, 8 to 4, we'd ask that you sign a waiver to enter the building, and whatever's in there, it's for you. So whatever items are still left in the building are open for public use.
Thank you.
There are a number of items on the agenda that are going to be revised and or taken off, so I'll go through those very quickly for you. Item number 9, it's a revised motion. It said the high school, it will be located at Joe LaRock Recreation Field in Sugarloaf at 6:15 on Labor Day. So from the high school, we're going to Joe LaRock Field. Item number 49 is also revised. It should read, recommend board approve the following for the Hazleton Area Cyber Academy at World Mall renovation project, contingent upon getting an acceptable bid for a general contractor. And then everything in the rest of the motion is the same. The only thing added is contingent upon getting an acceptable bid for a general contractor. Item 80 is being removed. 81, removed. 85, removed. And also, I'm sorry, 83, letter I will be removed. And that is it. We'll fill in the items or the names as we go through the agenda. Letter I on 83.
No, I mean.
Oh. 85.
85.
85. All right, on page 1 under curriculum instruction, approve items 1 through 9.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cosmo on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving
special education, approve items 10 through 17.
Motion by Mrs. McBride.
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cosmo on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving numbers 10 through 17, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 3, under English Language Department, approve items 18 to 21 with one motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Cosmo, second by Mrs. McBride on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 18 through 21, say aye.
Aye.
Any no votes? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Page 4, under security, approve items 22 through
Motion by
26.
Mr. Mr. Bonomo, second by Mr. Uhas on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 22 through 26, say aye.
Aye.
Any no votes? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under nutrition and transportation, approve items 27 to 32.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo.
Second.
Second by Mr. Zeller on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 27 through 32, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Page 5, under facilities and capital projects, approve
I'll make
items
the motion.
33 to 34.
But I have a question.
Motion by Mr. Szymanski, second.
Where is the location of number 33? Does anybody know? Is anybody here from maintenance? Where? West Hazelton? Okay, thank you.
Anybody else on the question? Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 33 and 34, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under technology, approve items 35 through 39.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Cosmo, second by Mr. Bonomo. Question? Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 35 through 39, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 6, under student activities, athletics, and extracurricular, recommend board accept.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo, second by Mr. Uhas on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving item number 40, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Under finance, approve items 41 through 51.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Cosmo, second by Mr. Bonomo on the question.
Item number 48 should read, child care program for champions child care and also building blocks child care. And then also 49 as indicated earlier.
Any more on the question? Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 41 through 51 with the revisions to 48 to 49, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Item number 52, motion to pay the bills.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Cosmo, second by Mr. Zeller on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving the bills, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 8, under superintendent of schools, approve items 53 through 56.
Motion.
Motion by Mrs. Cosmo. Second.
Second.
Second by Mrs. McBride on the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 53 through 56, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Page 9, approve items 57 through 73 with one motion.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo, second by Mr. Zeller, sorry. On the question. Mr. Romano?
All in favor of approving items 57 through 73, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Okay, on page 10, approve items 74 through 83 with one motion.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo.
Second.
Second by Mr. Uhas on the question.
Adding number 82, Tiffany Maylath. Item number 83, A and B are already filled in. Letter C, Jenna Greco. D, Alexandra Laporte. E, Bethany Taylor. F, Jody Gallagher. G, Julia
Denzeisen.
Thank you. Den Zeisen. And H, Sarah Evancho. page 11, approve items 84 through 94. with one
Motion.
Second. Mrs. Cosmo, second by Mr. Zeller. On the question.
85 is removed. 87 should be Loida Jimenez. 88, Kristen Pauline. 89, Kelly Deshesky. 90, Lisa Chulak. 91, Stacy Gadola. 92, Caroline Aguilera. 93, Emily Pick. 94, Ms. Ghana Bhatti.
Any other on the question? Mr. Lemon.
All in favor of approving items 84 through 94, including 85, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
On page 12, approve items 95 through 100 with one motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Bonomo, second by Mr. Zeller. On the question. Mr. Lemon.
All in favor of approving items 95 through 100, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it, motion passes.
Anyone at this time?
Well, wait, I'd like to just point something out, because at the last meeting, we had people here about the TV rights and all that. And I'd like to point out that we did make an agreement a while in on, that's number 100, and on, I think, item 50. We're gonna have our own, 2 people doing live streaming, and it's gonna be on channel 99. So anybody who cannot make a sporting event, most likely will be able to watch it on either TV, live streaming on channel 99. We were able to work out an agreement with all the people involved in this. I think it's good to get it worked it out.
Right, it's a good thing. Thank you. Anyone from the audience wish to be heard?
Don't bring up that stuff, or you're bringing up that, right? You're bringing up that stuff.
I'm back. Okay, after a recent school board meeting, it was brought to my attention that I was including transgenderism with critical race theory. I even insisted that both were coupled together as CRT. Well, I admit I was wrong. They are 2 different entities, but one fact is true, and most importantly, their true objective is to indoctrinate our children with evil ideology that affects the children for the rest of their lives. CRT indoctrinates children to believe in hatred of each other, hatred of our country, to believe and taught falsehoods about our nation's history, all just to have control over the children. Transgenderism, just like CRT, indoctrinates our children with enforcing gender identity as early as kindergarten and in some instances pre-K. Or picking a pronoun that they prefer to be called, starting the transition to another sex with hormone therapy or anatomical surgeries without parental knowledge or consent. Some of these indoctrinating ideas can occur before they learn how to say the alphabet, read, or do simple math. We need to put the brakes on the radical CRT and transgenderism agenda and emphasize teaching the children how to get skills they need to get a job in our economy, but also teach them to love our country and to be good citizens. School boards are responsible to assure parents that teachers are sticking to teaching the academic basics they need to lead a happy, productive life. The National Education Association, or the NEA, is more concerned to teach the complete history of our nation with emphasis on CRT and transgenderism. In other words, the total indoctrination of our children, destroying their innocence, their education, their spirit and sense of optimism. They are destroying their future. What makes our current Washington administration and the NEA feel they are the complete authority on what our children are taught and without parental input? Why do the children have to suffer political socialistic power battles in their formative years? The children belong to their parents. Parents decide if it's appropriate to introduce these socialistic ideologies to their children. Mr. Biden stated that the children belong to the teachers in the classroom, but no, they belong to the parents. Teachers are a portal for the children to learn, but to learn academics for a successful future, not indoctrinate to become political puppets of the government. It was stated in a letter to the editor of our newspaper, The Standard Speaker, that if God is off limits in schools, that must include the less gods of socialism, transgenderism, and CRT. So in conclusion, yes, CRT and transgenderism are two different entities, but they both have the same objective:
15 seconds
indoctrination and not education. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I just want to follow up on her comment about transgenderism. I don't really know where you're getting your facts or
Ma'am, could you
this.
state your name?
I'm sorry, my name's Erin Poston, a parent for the district. The board has said many times they're not going to do the CRT. They keep telling you that. But I am gonna tell you that transgender and non-binary youth attempt suicide less when their pronouns are respected, when they are allowed to officially change the gender marker on their legal documents, and when they have access to spaces, online, school, and at home, that affirm their gender identity. By you stating these things, you are putting them at a higher risk. As part of a school and a community, you are trying not to put these youth at risk. And I understand that you're a parent and you're a grandparent, but what if one of your grandchildren came to you, say it was a little girl, I don't feel that way anymore. Are you going to love that child any less? Are you going to kick them out of school because they are now, you treat them like they're plagued or something? These children need support, maybe more than others, because of the mental health issues and aspects that follow it. That has nothing to do with CRT. Racism and all of that is taught by small-minded people who have no idea what that entails. I'm a huge supporter of that community, and I have fantastic friends and family who are, you know, transgender, who are everything. And they're a lot better than other people that, you know, claim they're not. I don't think it's right that you come up here every month and say all of these things, because then you're putting children at risk by saying it's okay not to accept them because they're different. That's the great thing about this place, is everybody's different. And it's that person who controls what they're allowed to feel and who they're allowed to be, not you or people like you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Marian Calderon. I don't come to talk today, but I am so proud. I am so nervous. I am so proud. The end of the transgender girl. She studied here, and she's a product of Hazleton Area School District, Career Center. Let me tell something. In the Career Center, help her to be what she is now. What you say, I'm sorry. I am proud. My family is proud to Amira. Amira is proud of Hazleton Area School District, and I want Hazleton Area School District continue helping transgender family, because no, it's easy. I lost Joseph. I had to bury him, and then Amira come true, and my family is happy because that transgender family is in every family around the world. No, it's only in Hazleton, no, it's only in Freeland, no, it's only in Pennsylvania. Transgender people is a new family in the whole nation. Thank you.
I would like to change the topic just a little bit, because as you can see, I am
Could you state, I'm sorry.
You have to state your name.
Oh, my name is Katie Mercado. As you can see, I am a little bit younger. I am a senior here. I would like to hand you these quotes from us. Actually, they're under petitions. Some of them are student quotes that have just been given to me. This is more addressing the dress code that you have put out this year. For some people, I would just like to state that not everybody has the money to conform to this dress code. You guys can pass it around as I continue.
Are these all different?
Yes, they are all different.
Thank you.
They all have highlighted things that I would like to say. Before I state this speech though, I would like to, I'm a little nervous, but I would like to read page 13 of the student handbook where it does address dress code and other things. But it does say the board has the authority to impose limitations on students in dress, in school, how they dress. The board will not interfere with the rights of students and their parents/guardians to make decisions regarding their appearance. It also states, the superintendent or designee shall ensure that all rules implementing this policy impose the only minimum necessary restrictions on the exercise of the student's taste and individuality. It also says staff members shall be instructed to demonstrate by example. Now, let me first state that I've personally seen teachers who does not follow our dress code to its standard. But I did write a speech here on my phone, sorry, about how I do feel on this situation and about many other topics. Hi, my name is Kaylee. I am a senior at the Hazleton Area High School. I'm here to share how the new dress code violates students' rights, impacts me both from a physical wellness and mental health perspective, and does not address more pressing issues of safety. Based on the court case of Jillian versus San Julio, I'm so sorry. Unified School District of 1993, the court ruled that any policy which restricts a student's freedom of speech under the rights of the First Amendment should be, I'm sorry.
Take your time.
Thank you so
You
much.
got it.
Take your time.
Under the First Amendment must be justified by school officials. In absence of such justification, they may not discipline a student from exercising those rights. Given this, schools must be sure that the policies created are justified and have a purpose. With the current dress code, it is applied with varying degrees of fidelity. Two students can be wearing the exact same outfit, and based on the way it sits on one's body, they will be dress coded while the other is not. This dress code is applied based on feelings of other individuals forcing them, rather than the school's actual dress code, which indicates that this is not about creating a unified school student body, but instead a way to target and demoralize particular students. From a physical perspective, I get cold easily in the winter time, and the school's heating does not suffice. And I wear
Don't worry about
Keep
it.
going. Keep going.
I wear hoodies to keep warm in the summer. In the summer, there's no AC, so I wear shorts, skirts, and dresses to keep cool. Banning these items would leave students freezing in the winter and overheating in the summer. Neither of these options will make an optimal environment for learning. If we are uncomfortable, we cannot put all of our focus on learning. From a mental health perspective, myself included, my self-expression is very important to me. It's the way how I express myself, who I am, and what I believe. This is important to me because it helps me feel confident and show the world who I am. Taking that away from me is detrimental to my mental health. It diminishes my confidence, which is already difficult to have in a school where bullying is so prevalent. My self-expression is my shield. Removing my shield leaves me defenseless, and it will cause my anxiety to rise, which is directly impacting my ability to learn. Finally, I'm so sorry.
You got it, you got it.
Finally, rather than focusing on what we wear on our bodies, I believe our focus should be on safety, which is more important if I'm wearing a hoodie or platform shoes. I feel unsafe in the school building between the bullying, teachers who are known as pedophiles, and shooting threats that have been made against the school district. Instead of policies about our clothes, the board and committee should develop policies that address these safety concerns. So,
That's our fault.
so that we can feel as safe at school as possible. In conclusion, being able to wear what I'm comfortable in being able to wear what I'm comfortable in impacts my ability to learn and my ability to be myself. To you, and you might think it's just removing our ability to wear a hoodie, but for us, it's removing our right to be comfortable in our own skin, be able to learn. Please reconsider these prohibitive policies, and please allow us to have the freedom of who we are.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, but can I just interject a little bit here? I understand what you're saying, but I know all of you are concerned about hoodies. Hoodies are a safety concern. If you look at some of the establishments, you go to a bank, you cannot go into a bank with a hoodie and have the hood up. They won't allow you.
So hold on, this isn't a bank.
The way, excuse me, but with our district being as big as it is, we're not saying you can't wear the hoodies to school. But once you get into the school, you are to put them in your locker, because if there's a fight or something going on and they have those hoodies on, we cannot see who it is that is starting whatever occurs, whether it's in the cafeteria, and that's a safety issue.
Nobody
So
fights with a
why do you
hoodie
sell
out.
them in your store? Excuse me, ma'am.
That's
You
a
just approved
safety
something-
issue.
You just approved something right now.
Are
Yeah.
they being sold
To
in the
sell
store?
them, to sell hoodies and jackets.
I think the
Cougar
the audience
hoodies and
thinks you're
jackets
wrong,
For the
Ms.
school
Pelosi.
district. So you can sell them, right?
Make money, but forget about us.
To make money, but you can't have them so that way the kids can use them for school.
And you're,
Like, what is the contradiction? Your
Uh,
staff,
excuse me.
your
No,
staff and your teachers.
no shouting, no
dress
shouting
the
from
same.
the
You're not
audience.
shouting.
You wanna speak, you get up.
All right, we'll shout outside after.
Move on.
Wow.
No.
I'm
Can I-
stating,
can you guys answer the
excuse
question?
me.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You are to
Who made you the
get up there.
queen?
Those are the rules.
No, stay.
Your turn to speak.
Yeah, let's-
She wanted to say something.
The Cosmo's always like that.
No,
Nora.
I know.
Excuse me, she's up next.
A t-shirt over their head? Or what stops anybody from concealing who they are? It's not about wearing the hoodie that we're concerned about, but again, the school, when it's winter, is really cold. Especially, I know from my own experience in the basement, it gets freezing in there. So to completely say, take off your hoodie once you get in school, I think is very unreasonable. You can say no hoodie, like your hood up in school, which I've seen multiple security guards enforce throughout the year. So I don't think that's our problem where it lies. I think what lies here is the fact that you're trying to tell kids they cannot wear what keeps them warm. I know there, and it doesn't just affect me, like as a teen student, I wanna be a rebel or something, but there's kids it impacts the entire district. There's kids, even their age, you're gonna tell them that they're gonna be cold throughout the entire year because you're afraid that eight-year-olds are gonna have a fight. I think there's bigger issues here that need to be resolved before dress code.
Wait, Linda's avoiding the big
Locking
problems.
doors to the bathroom during passing periods and then having teachers yell at me because why didn't I go to the bathroom at my own time, I think is another issue that needs to be enforced. You can have a security guard standing in front of the bathroom, making sure they don't hear anything, but to simply be like, nope, we're locking the doors while you pass periods, what am I supposed to do?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just state your name.
Madison Delman, I'm a sophomore at the STEM school. And as a female member of the student body, I feel a lot safer attending school daily if the priority was on the child predators not getting passed between buildings in our school districts than focusing on the trivial articles of clothing such as holes in jeans, etc. Rather than forcing females to cover up their knees, why don't we teach everyone to be more respectful and, on the whole, not sexualize a body part that everyone has?
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Donna Vasquez, and I'm a part of the Pacific Area Academy of Sciences. And I want to expand on what everyone was saying. Not only do people look into the dress code for comfort and they wear what they want to express themselves, but like we were talking about earlier, transgender people use clothes to express themselves and how far they want to do it. And as someone who is a minority, and you guys, I feel like you guys, as you look around, you can agree, there are many Hispanics and people of minority class that live in Hazleton, that parents live paycheck by paycheck, that can't simply afford to buy a new wardrobe to fit the rules that you guys want. For example, if you look at my attire, I would be considered out of dress code if I walked in on the first day of school because I am wearing Crocs and I'm wearing a hoodie. This outfit alone cost way too much money just so that I could be considered out of dress code. My entire body is covered. I'm not a distraction to anyone and I'm comfortable. I am wearing school merchandise that cost me $20, $25 and you guys would want me to take it off because of any hazards or safety issues. And same thing with Crocs. You guys are worried that I'll slip or I'll trip, which is understandable. You guys want kids to be safe. But we are comfortable and we have to go to school 7 hours every day to be in an environment that a lot of kids don't want to be in. A lot of kids are drained, depressed, tired. And the last thing they want to be doing is being called at home or being told that they have to change what they're wearing because of something as minor as someone might pull on my hoodie. We should focus more, if you guys are worried about fightings or anything, on how we can make these stuff stop. Instead of preventing the dangers of a fight, we should prevent the fight in total. We change our tires every time something goes wrong. My Crocs are $30 shoes. If I really had an issue with walking around in Crocs, I wouldn't have bought them. I don't feel like I've had any issues. I know kids that play in their Crocs, they enjoy it, they're comfortable, they go to school, they just want to be relaxed, they just want to learn. And most kids, they don't even want to be there, let alone change what they're wearing because of some girl might pull on their hoodie. And because of that, I think it's very important that we look into these issues and like safety concerns. We might have something in our hoodie and stuff, but we go through metal detectors every single day. We have to go through these. We have to take things out of our pocket. And if you're still so worried about what we might be holding or anything, I feel like that's an issue from when we're going into the school. If we're being able to bypass things through security, how well is security? How well is the metal detectors catching on to these things? And honestly, I'm gonna be honest, I wear hand-me-downs for my family. I wear hand-me-downs for my sister. And I don't think that that should stop because a lot of us pay, we don't make, like a lot of parents don't make enough to start changing outfits all of a sudden. Like, I would have worn this on the last day of school and there would have been nothing wrong with it. Over one summer change, all of a sudden my hoodie is an issue, my Crocs are an issue. And I honestly don't see the problem. I'm covered head to toe. I'm not inappropriate, I'm comfortable, and my education's still gonna be the same. Whether I'm wearing a crop top or anything else, I'm still gonna be learning the same geometry at the end of the
In your district that you're all so very proud of, take into account what they're saying.
To change the topic. Good evening, Dr. Upman and school board members. I am Joyce Kavita, Career Center Cafeteria Manager, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the members of the Educational Support Professionals Union. In these times of rising costs, we, along with many other employers, are facing a shortage of workers. We are currently the 11th biggest school district in the state, and our high school is the 3rd largest in-person high school in Pennsylvania. Yet we are vastly understaffed, often doing the job of 2 or 3 employees. We need help, and we need your help to get it. By making our positions competitive in today's market, we would be able to recruit and hire quality workers, as well as retaining the employees that we currently have. Gone are the days of the stay-at-home mom working to make some mad money while her kids are in school. We're marketing these jobs to someone who no longer exists. We are proud of our jobs, proud to be secretaries, paraprofessionals, and cafeteria workers. Many times, we are the first employees to greet our students in the morning. For some of our students, the only meals they receive in the day are prepared by our cafeteria workers. Making sure that all of our students have nutritious, delicious meals that they will eat is their responsibility, and they do it well. Our paraprofessionals are the lifeline of many of our students. They are the workers that know how to calm down an autistic student or help a student that needs a little more assistance. They are the help in a classroom so that the teacher can effectively teach a class larger than it should be. They are often the person a child that is having a hard time at home will reach out to, and they care for and comfort them like their own children. Our secretaries are many parents' first contact with our buildings. Their professionalism and competency are vital to our schools and departments running smoothly. They balance the demands of parents, teachers, administration, and outside contacts with skill and patience. We are not entry-level workers making a few dollars until our kids are grown so that we can go back to our careers. These are our careers. These are important jobs, and we do them well and with pride. Unfortunately, we are not compensated as professionals. We are not paid a living wage. Many of our members must find 2nd or 3rd jobs just to survive. This entails them working nights and weekends, the very thing that this job is advertised to help them avoid. We are asking you to recognize our importance in this district and treat us like
like an asset instead of a liability. When defending the raises for administrators that were approved in the spring, Dr. Eplinger spoke about the importance of paying a competitive salary to retain quality employees. We wholeheartedly agree with this sentiment. Now is our time. As we continue with contract negotiations, we ask that you evaluate our importance to this district, the quality of our work, and determine our financial value based on this criteria. Thank you.
My name is Ibeliz Eufrasio Cha. I want to talking about something about the technology, but before this, I hear the girls talking about the dress code. I want to know how good is your insulation in the school, because I hear some parents say as some student that it's so cold. So do you have any in mind if you go take it out there, how they go cover, put some new insulation to the building or something like that? Because that's the way they say, it's so cold in some place in the school.
We replaced this summer a few hundred units, and I'm not sure on all what buildings, but we are currently and have been updating our heating systems, and we're working on it.
What about
And really, if somebody is really cold and don't feel so comfortable, we'd like to know about it, you know, through our just let us know.
When you say sold the building, does code go for only high school, or does dress code will be for the whole school district?
We've been updating our heating system throughout the school district. We've done a lot of improvements, and to be honest with you, we need to know if somebody's really uncomfortably cold in their room, and that's not acceptable. I mean, if they're that cold, we need to know about it, or our maintenance department needs to know about it, and we will do whatever we can to rectify the problem.
Like I said, I've even seen kids in the basement walk around with like little blankets because it's cold down there.
Kids in the basement have warm coats because it's that cold outside. The toilets froze, the pipes froze.
Maybe do an environmental study on it.
We're doing an ESCO project. You know, we are addressing the problem. We're not ignoring it, but if
Well, don't enforce the rule
particular
till after, though.
classroom that is really, really cold, we will do, if we have to bring in temporary heaters, whatever, we will. Of course, we can do nothing about the heat. I mean,
A temporary heater is less dangerous than a hoodie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
alright.
So then if it's like that, then
So, you hear what they say, so go report. So I'm here talking about you getting 1,000 modem for give it to family, for they can be available to have an internet. How did you go decide who family go get it, this modem and who no? Because we have like a 4,000 family with that situation, and you only have you only have a 1,000. How do you go distribute it?
There he is, in that. Would you like to address that, Doctor? Oh, sorry.
We sent out surveys in the springtime to all students.
You did?
And yes, we did.
I never got one for my kids. I never got one.
I can hear
They went to all schools, all students, and it was a needs survey. Okay, we didn't make a survey, it came from IU, somewhere else in the state, that asked, do you need internet? Do you have adequate internet? Do you have an adequate device? The surveys we got back, we had just under 1,000 say they needed adequate internet, so we got 1,000 devices.
So sorry to interrupt you, that communication or that survey was be sending in English only, or you send it by
English and Spanish.
Okay, English and Spanish.
Yes.
So who give it was it the teacher? The teacher give it there to bring home?
Yes.
Okay, I think so. I look at like you see when you have a no play and then review again. Probably a lot of people still think that's what I'm doing. I continue to tell everybody that we needed a bilingual paraprofessional in the school, in the classroom. I can tell you, because I'm working over there like a paraprofessional, if you give that letter to the kid and explain there how important it is and why when they put it back, they can get the money, you probably go have a more responding. But I don't think so. The rest of the 2,000 is only Spanish. So we need to find another way to let them know. Remember, we have people in numbers. We have people far away to us here. It's not only, I don't talk only about Spanish community. So what I see here is we are fair. Well, we know because I know below. You fair about to fund those people. It's 4,000 families, and if you see that they only 1,000 responding to you, you need to find another way to do it. Because we go continue in the basement, in the school and the PA because we don't have it. What we need it.
Right. I didn't say 1,000 responses.
Oh.
I said 1,000 responses, less than 1,000 responses requested or expressed a need for it. We had over somewhere around 8,000 or so responses. So it was mass. It wasn't just a select group. And I know out of the people who said they needed it, I know a lot of those students probably withdrew with other districts that went or left the country. So coming this year, I will see what we have left and send another survey out to people who might express it. Now this isn't internet for watching Netflix. This is internet dedicated for education. Okay, that's all it can be used for. Right, that's all it can be used for. So there are other options, and I just sent an email to the parent who requested it today. Source Electric is actually participating in a program that allows people to get, I think it's up to $30 a month credit or credit on their internet account. Okay, and it's for eligible families, but I believe everybody in this area is eligible simply because we offer free lunches to all of our students. That's one of the requirements. So,
and you said that's today. And we have almost 3 only for starting the class.
I have a question.
Because I am getting old. And when people start to get old, there are like different generations that divide us. And we are in a society, I think it's hard to be in government. It's hard to take decisions. But we are living in a society of grandparents managing kids. I think, personally, it's time to the board start to look for the way not to hear, if not integrate, people that are in the other side. We lose the opportunity of bringing a Hispanic to the board, to bring a different voice, and we need to start to bring kids from the community that understand and can translate to you culturally. I mentioned to Mr. Bonomo time ago, when he don't know how to spell my name, that doesn't bother me, because that happened to me with Adolfo last night. The difference is the context. I try to get to you. People don't feel the same way. So we got a different generations, and there are messages that people won't understand. If I go to my grandparent in the day, and I say, you know what, there are satellites in the moon seeing us, you are crazy, send this guy to a place. The old great days are the new great days. We cannot expect to have the same philosophy of the 18th, 19th century. If we pretend to do that, we will hold the progress. It's not the progress that I like. It's not the progress that you like, but that's the problem. It's the natural way, course of things. Think about before Brown versus Board of Education, a black Hispanic guy like me speaking directly to you. That is our offense. Do you remember the case of Emmett Till? He was killed because he see a white woman. I am here speaking to other people. And we need to realize the world will be different. I am scared, like I told you. I am getting old. There are a different generation with those kids. But we need to understand they are the future. We are not here to stop them. We are here to understand them and to move to a path of education. But education is more than math. And by the way, I'm a student civil engineer. I got a master's degree. It's more than math. is skill of life, a skill of life, understand persons. That's more, that's
15 seconds remaining.
that is more than careers and everything. And I think we need to step back for a few seconds. Those that hold position and feel that they have the authority, and those that are playing, to look for a kind of common ground and understand that we are so different. And I don't expect that you understand all those kids, but at the end of the day, they are the future. You cannot hold what they believe and what they are. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. I'm pretty nervous, so just like bear with me.
You're just like.
You're good. Hello. My name is Bianni Santos Garcia, and I am here today to talk about the new dress code policy that is being implemented in the district, as well as points of it that are ineffective and contradictory to student needs. First, I'd like to speak on the no hoodies/jackets rule. By banning hoodies and jackets, not only are you making it harder for us students to concentrate in class, but you'd also be exposing us to the risk of getting sick at school. I'm one of those people that, like, you know, if I'm in a cold environment for like a certain amount of time, I do get a cold, I do get sick, and it seems, I have like stage fright, I'm sorry. Thank you. It just seems a little bit ridiculous that, you know, by banning hoodies, you get it, right? I lost my place.
Start over.
The heating systems in school are ineffective and at times are broken to the point that the pipes freeze. I did say this earlier. It's just, yeah. A lot of us at school have body dysmorphia or already feel insecure in our own skins. By banning hoodies and jackets, it'd be like taking away our armor, making us feel self-conscious and unsafe. Not to mention, a good amount of the students in this district come from...
Are you going to listen? You're interrupting.
You're being a tyrant. Stop.
Stop.
Stop being a tyrant.
That goes the wrong way. Thank you.
A good amount of the students in this district don't come from wealthy families. Most of us wear hand-me-downs, hoodies and jackets are the majority of our wardrobes. If you take that away from us, we have little to no approved clothing. With that being said, I strongly request that the board considers the socioeconomic status of students in this district. I'm really, really passionate about this one because when I was young, you know, I immigrated here when I was 5, and we didn't have a lot of money, so in the winter I would have to like layer jackets to come to school, and there was no heating at home, so like, you know, like everything's better now, but you know, like I'm scared that I'm just really worried that maybe there might be some kids out there that are possibly in the same. I don't want any kids out there that are going. If there's any kids out there that are going through what I went through, that would be just heartbreaking for me, okay? Because it would be just really unfortunate, okay? Like we couldn't afford coats, and I know there's some kids out there that can't afford coats. They're probably coming into school with 2 jackets layered on just to try and keep warm. And for you to take that away from them and have them suffer in cold classrooms is just not okay. And that's why I came here, even though I like, you know, people and stuff, you know. But I'm just really passionate about this stuff, and it's just not right. You can't take that away from them because they're just kids. And I'm getting,
I will say this young lady sent me a beautiful email and asked for her, obviously, permission to come. The meeting's open. It was a beautifully written email, and I appreciate it.
These kids are doing awesome.
They are fantastic.
Yeah.
Can you follow that up?
I don't think so. She did fantastic. It was wonderful. Good evening. My name is Brittany Berkheimer, and I'm here to talk about
about the curriculum. On Monday, June 27th, 2022, a 10-year-old child in Ohio went across state borders to obtain an abortion because she was 6 weeks and 3 days pregnant. It was debated that this child should have known that she was pregnant before she reached that point to obtain the abortion in her state. I'm not here to discuss abortion rights with any of you. I'll save that fight for another day, another place, another time. I am here to discuss our education regarding reproductive education in our schools. I currently have a daughter entering 8th grade, a daughter entering 4th grade, and a son entering 2nd. When my oldest daughter was in 5th grade, I had concerns about the lack of reproductive education in her school. I spoke to moms of students in other schools, and I realized that no one was being taught this anymore. I spoke with guidance and I spoke with the principal, and the response that I received was essentially that no one was able to teach it. But our students do have health class on their schedules, don't they? To quote the Pennsylvania Department of Education website, the standards aligned system is the Pennsylvania Department of Education's digital curriculum. Also to quote, any person holding a valid and active Pennsylvania teaching certificate in the area of health and physical education K through 12 is qualified to teach all physical education courses in the grades K through 12. Standard area 10.1.3 concepts of health for 3rd grade states, and I quote, identify and describe the stages of growth and development in infancy, childhood, adolescence, adulthood, and late adulthood. The definition of adolescence is the period following onset of puberty during which a young person develops from a child into an adult. Neither of my daughters who left 3rd grade learned about puberty in their health class. Standard area 10.16E concept of health for 6th grade states, and I quote, identify health problems that can occur through life and describe their ways to prevent them. This includes diseases such as cancer, diabetes, STD, HIV, AIDS, cardiovascular diseases, and their prevention such as do not smoke, maintain proper weight, eat a balanced diet, practice sexual abstinence, and be physically active. These things are not being taught in our schools. We're not looking for this to be an out for parenting and teaching our children, but the reality is that not every parent will have this conversation and not every child has a parent to talk to. Every situation is different, but understanding how their bodies work is not something that it is something every child needs to know. If these things are not being taught in our health class, what is? I've asked many people this question and I'm told health class is just another gym. Our school taxes are being increased and our students are being taught less. My question now is what can I expect to be done to ensure that all students are receiving the education that they deserve?
Thank you.
I just want to say that I am so proud of you guys, you students that came here today to discuss the whole dress code issue. And I hope that you guys do reconsider and take their statements into consideration. Because if they are not allowed to wear hoodies, then you guys should not be selling them in your store and making profit. Another thing that I want to reiterate, I asked this question prior when I first came here, was why are we currently under a Title I funding system here? Why are we not under Title III? I want someone to elaborate and I want someone to give me a clear answer. Why are we currently in this? And this should be something that you all should know because
I know.
you guys are on board.
I know exactly why. Dr. Zukoski, you asked.
So from which source? So from Title I and III, why isn't that listed in your curriculum, in your website, or anything like that? And what are the monies going towards? So is there any kind of proof where we can see or evaluate where the money is going to? Because there should be a numerous amount of paraprofessionals in school that are supposed to help with our bilingual students. There should be more psychiatrists, there should be more psychologists, there should be more teachers in the school district. And those federal monies are what provide that kind of assistance for the school district. So that should be in part of this information here being discussed to the public. So, but I want to see a proof. I mean, all I can find on you guys'
It'll be in our budget.
website. Oh, no, I know. But there's nothing on your website to this since 2018. So I really want an elaborated answer, and I think the community should know.
Dr. Uplinger will get you.
Ice melt for the old
Thank you. Anyone else?
Nice. Hey, Gene.
Keep the little kid, Hazel. Is there anything on the mic possessor? No. Chris, I did talk to you outside, and you said you let us know inside, is that?
I couldn't talk to you outside, but all I can tell you tonight is nothing to report, and no action.
Oh. So, let's start with Marion School. Did you work out the bus schedule? Well, they said for August 29th, there's gonna be no transportation.
For Marion?
Yeah.
That's the orientation. Our own high school students, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, last week, this week, including kindergarten as well, last week and this week, have not provided transportation for orientation. We don't provide transportation for orientation.
Oh.
It's one day for 9th grade to Marion.
Let's see here, what do we have? Oh.
Microphone.
Yeah.
It has come to our attention that the Hazelton Area School District is not providing transportation for our students. We are currently trying to resolve this issue with me. Dr. Bill Conlon,
We can't hear, why don't you just tell us where? So, in other words, he's saying that it's, yous aren't, reaching out to them to resolve the issue.
And Ricky, we know everybody blames us for everything, but I mean, I'm sure.
I'm not blaming you.
Missy,
I'm only asking
Missy,
the
do
question.
we have a schedule for Marion?
We do. They're also in receipt. We have two different schedules for Marion, actually. There are things called 500 days as well as regular schedules. So 500 days are when our students are not in session and Marion students are. They're in receipt of those bus passes as well as the regular scheduled bus passes where they join our students on the buses.
But do you-
Wait, can I just finish really quick? We had a meeting today with the head of schools, the dean of schools, and I believe he is the head of the Diocese of Allentown to discuss this today with Marion. So we did speak to them. We are trying to resolve it. However, as stated previously, our own students for Hazelton Area School District that started orientation last week, this week, and following week did not have pre-provided transportation for orientation as well.
Okay, so is it gonna be corrected or?
Not for orientation, Ricky.
It's just for orientation.
Yeah, so
One day
going
forward.
forward, Missy, going forward.
But they're gonna be provided for transportation.
The message,
Only 9th grade. Tuesdays, all upper class. Tuesday will be
Okay.
French transportation.
A parent reached out to me, that's why.
Yeah, sure.
I brought it up. I'm not blaming you, I don't know the facts.
Yeah.
I only played the message where it's.
this has been discussed for 5 years, going on 6 now that I've been here.
I do wanna thank you for working to deal with that.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
And I appreciate
But just real quick, going back to what Ms. Gambini was talking about. We don't, and we never have, since I've been here and prior to even me coming, we've never provided on just that orientation day.
Okay.
So the message that went out to parents from Marion was very misleading, saying we weren't gonna provide it at all.
Right.
That's not true. So, but thank you, we appreciate it.
Chris, I have a question for you. You bought Cunningham Builders. True? Cunningham Builders?
I am one of the partners who purchased the building.
Okay. Are you reopening that, or is that getting sold to the school district?
It's on the market right now for lease or purchase.
Okay. Are you buying that property?
There's no board action on any purchase of anything.
It was just brought to my attention. And we did enlist your law firm as municipal careers, okay. So, we have that. Is there any other questions you want?
No, I'll ask them.
We're good. My wife will take charge now.
Hey, my name is Barry Jayas. I'm the consultant for WYLN TV. And the reason I'm here tonight is because I want to thank Dr. Uplinger and the school board for sitting down with us and coming up with an agreement. I think it's a win-win situation, not only for the school district, but for the town. I went through withdrawal. When my son stopped playing in his senior year, I went through sort of a football withdrawal, and parents and players know what that's all about. But Friday nights to me are high school football. I'm also the executive producer of our sports, and I'm the sports director. But tonight, it's like a New Year's Eve for me to have this back again. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, want to thank you for sitting down and coming up with an agreement. And I really wish that more people would do this. Get away from the social media. It's a pain in the butt. I heard stuff last night that I was in tears over, and I will talk to Dr. Uplinger about it, but it just, why can't people face each other, sit down? We did. Eddie, thank you for putting this together with us, Dr. Uplinger for putting it together. And again, on behalf of not only the station, but the Hazleton community who have pressured us, really, we want to thank you. It's a good thing. It's a win-win situation. We promise you we will do everything we can to encourage attendance at games. We promise we will use students wherever we can, and certainly our doors are open to help any of your students either through co-op or through an internship. We give you that promise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Girls, thank you for your speech, beautifully written, beautifully said. I want to apologize for the ignorance of some individuals, but thank you. We appreciate it, we all do. This question is going to be for Mr. Lamanna. I provided you a FOIA and a right to know what your common, or I should say your customer standard to a response in that.
Yes, you were sent a extension.
I did not receive that.
It was sent to the email address you provided.
Yeah, I can pull my email up for you if you'd like, but I did not receive it. So if you could kindly send
Certainly,
it
if you want to
in.
wait after the meeting, I can produce the extension request and the email address.
Fabulous, thank you.
Sure.
That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Dr. Charles?
Keep it late.
My name is Bob Childs. I live at 30 West Broad Street, West Hazleton. I'm here to follow up three different branches of conversation this evening. First off, like others, I would like to compliment the young ladies who stood up here this evening and spoken their piece. Every year, the school board has a student representative here. So many years, the student sits here and reads a list of activities that the students have had, which is pretty boring right away. I think you've got some pretty good candidates with a lot of passion. Maybe you should pick one of them this year to be your student representative.
Just, Dr. Schatz, and Dr. Constant, those individuals are chosen by the student council, correct? We don't.
I'm aware.
We're just given those students.
Yeah, I'm just aware of that. Second thing, to back up what was said by the young lady who spoke from the heart of the cafeteria workers, I certainly hope that you folks are going to look carefully at what you do for the paraprofessionals. I know the contract is coming up this year, and I wish that you would open it ahead of time. They're getting just ludicrously low wages. You can't get excellent workers and retain excellent workers unless you pay a reasonable salary. $12 an hour is not a reasonable salary, and not in this day and age, not even at Burger King. So, just to back up what was mentioned by way of the paraprofessional staff, I would certainly agree with what was said. Third thing, what Mr. Diaz said, talking about the education of our youngsters. I spoke to one of the fourth grade teachers in an inner city school this past year. She mentioned to me that she had 7 youngsters in her class who really did not speak English well enough to be, for her to be able to teach them on the way that she would teach her other students. I asked her what she did, and she said, well, she said, I have some students who are pretty smart, but they're bilingual. So I have them teach the students. In other words, they take the lessons she's giving and bring them to the Latino students. I think that's a very, very cool way of teaching. And I hope that you folks are going to do something to correct that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr.
Good evening. My name is Eugenio Sosa. I speak on behalf of my family, myself, and others. I feel very, great today that I see a young student speaking out. 40 years ago, we started what we call Concerned Parents because there was a language barrier. 14 years after still, we don't have in the school district enough bilingual. When we talk about bilingual, is especially to communicate with parents that don't understand what their children are happening. And another thing that I want to mention is the environment that it needs to be happening in every school. Everybody wants to be a chief, starting with the security guard. I know the security guard is to protect for the safety, but sometimes they have a very negative attitude. We're looking for information and for guidance. And that happened to me. It doesn't mean that I'm just guessing. Has been so many times in the magistrate because a student has been sent today for some type of misbehavior or maybe disorder conduct. And also being here in the school district, what we call school board hearing, because some students behave bad. Sometimes I've been seeing there that to have a problem, two need to be involved. But in this situation, I just see one student and a crying mother. I just encourage for the principals, they need to be really cheap because sometimes the security guard wants to be what they want. The only three principals that I feel great that I can mention is Dr. Barletta from Freeland, Ms. Hayes from Korea, and also the retired Carlos Jones. That he all was creating, and every time his parent was gone, parents with their children was welcome and feeling that they really doing their job. And this is very bad what I'm listening now with the student about what is happening with the HIT assistance and those policies. We are here as a taxpayer. Sometimes as a Hispanic, we're facing a lot of problems because of the language barrier. Not me, especially those who came directly from Dominican Republic or any other countries. You have to create this environment that they feel safe and welcome, but at the same time to have a better communication. Thank you.
Thank you.
Today, at the end of the day, we're all humans, and from what I heard from everyone is some of these things they've been fighting for years, even months. And you might not remember me, but in 8th grade year when Crocs were trending and people started to wear them again, I actually sent out multiple emails, and I don't know if you remember, but I was actually the one that asked if it could be brought up in your next meeting because my principal at the time said that she did not like that students were wearing Crocs, and when we asked her for a valid reason, she didn't give them. She just said that it was because they had holes in them, and our vice principal was actually in the same room at that time, and he said that he did not have an issue with us wearing Crocs in front of her, and it kind of, and I was like in the middle because I was kind of dragged out from the hallway, and they were kind of like, hey, I just want you to let you know, like, we're starting to tell students, like, you're not allowed to wear Crocs. So I was like kind of put in an awkward situation with these two adults. And I thought it was kind of funny at the time because one was like, oh, I don't see any issue. And then the other one was like, no, like they can't wear it. And she was very strict about it. And I just thought it was so funny that the two main people controlling the school cannot come to an agreement on something as simple as shoe wear. And then he made a joke where he was like, so what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to take every kid that has holes in their shoes. And I think he kind of meant, he made it in a joking way of like kids who couldn't afford to get new sneakers for the new year, so their toes were kind of poking out of their worn shoes. And she was very serious, and she was like, yes. And I just think about how big our district was and how, like, that was so impossible. Like, there's no way of knowing a kid's situation at home. And when it comes to the people who are a part of the LGBTQ community or they're transgender,
or they're a minority and their parents live paycheck to paycheck, there's no way that we will be able to solve this issue with this one whole meeting, especially for the fact that I was in the 8th grade year and I'm a junior now. I will be going into my junior year. So I hope you guys do take into consideration that these things aren't simple, bam, yes, we're allowed to do it now. But if they aren't as simple as, oh yeah, let's resolve it right here, right now, then I don't understand why the rules should be made right here, right now. Like I said, I was able to wear Crocs my last year of school, and even though I had those issues in 8th grade, it never was touched up on because COVID hit, and then everyone was online. So it was kind of like, that was the least of our worries. We're more worried about the pandemic that was happening. But now that we're back in school, these are issues getting brought up again that were never handled. So I don't understand, and maybe one of you guys can tell me how you guys came to the decision where over one summer span, Crocs and hoodies were no longer allowed, but when I touched up on this subject back in 8th grade year, it was kind of like getting pushed back and delayed on what will be our next meeting topic.
Remind me what else.
Heights Terrace.
Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Kathy. I'm new to this, so yeah. I promised my kids that I would come up here and speak up for their safety. They don't feel safe. That really sucks. I have 3 kids in the school district. They've all gone through it. My daughter's about to start high school. When you come into this building, you go in through a metal detector, right? Do you feel safe? Do you have heating? Do you have AC? Are you more important than the kids in the school? Because they've all gone through all the schools. My kids have gone to almost all of your schools. They never go in through metal detectors. Actually, their excuse that the security officers tell me is that it takes too long. I'm sure your children, grandchildren, nieces and nephews go to a school where they feel warm or cool or safe. I've about had it as a parent. And I went to a school district in Brooklyn, New York, where we did have government funding, and we had way more than we have here in the school district for these children. I'm so sorry, but somebody who has actually seen different school districts can tell you that you guys are not performing top at all. Is that really sad, actually? I would consider moving, and I will consider moving, just because of my kids' education. My kids, frankly, hate it in the school district, and that's sad. That's just a few of my concerns. There's so many, I don't even know where to start, to be completely honest. As you can see all the people here today and all of the points that they made. It's really sad, and I hope you guys start paying attention, you know, because your point of view is very segregated. So, you know, that's about it that I'm gonna say today. I promise that I will be back with a little bit more knowledge. But yeah, I promise my kids, they don't feel safe. This is ridiculous. What are you waiting for? For a shooter to actually come into the school? Then to say that my kid is more important than you? I don't think so.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lorena Sosa, and I'm going to speak on behalf of Yanni, who unfortunately couldn't finish her speech. She really wants you guys to know that this school appears to be more concerned with the article of clothing than with the quality of education the students are receiving, as well as the accommodation for the actions and behaviors of district employees who are meant to be role models for young adults and for the future generation. I want to add on because I do have siblings that are in the school district, and I also been in the school district. And I just want to add that, like when you mentioned, you want students to come up to faculty and staff members about the concerns, especially with the temperatures in the schools. As you can see, 2 girls from the school, or 3, came to the podium, and you can see how nervous they are. They're shaking. Some students in the school are scared to talk to faculty members, security guard. Why? Because they might get punished. Punished for what? Their concerns? They're concerned because of the temperatures of the school. They can't wear hoodies. So how are they gonna learn? Lastly, the education is for the students, so let's help them learn comfortably and listen to their concerns. When students come up here, it's for them, not for adults or the faculty members. It's for the students. Thank you.
I just want to set the record straight to let you all know, I am not against transition or transgender. What I am yes, really. What I am concerned about, now I'm not saying, you asked me where do I get my information from?
I don't think we're gonna have a debate on this here. I don't
No,
think that's-
no debate on
No
this.
debate on this issue, you'll have to debate somewhere else. Anyone else?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Kelly and Freeland. I'm here on behalf of my son. He attends Freeland Elementary, who has been bullied 2 years. Gone to security. What has been done? Nothing. Now, at the end of the year, it took 1 week before the end of the year for the child to stop. Here, you're worried about hoodies? I'm worried about my child. So what's the concern? Now, does these hoodies that you're saying is not allowed in school, does that go for vans and buses also? I don't have 10 heads. Can somebody answer?
No.
Thank you. Now, what about the bullying policy? I spoke to you personally on one of my other sons in Freeland 4 years ago. Personally, on the phone. Nothing was ever done. What had happened, my son was in the cafeteria having lunch with other students with their phone out. Not him, it's my other. But they singled him out. They know my son has issues. It escalated to where my son was taken from your school in an ambulance, put in kids' fees for 10 days. Do you think that's fair? After I spoke to you personally. Again, do I have 10 heads? Anybody?
I don't recall the conversation. That was 4 years ago. I'll be happy to speak with you again.
Okay, now what's gonna happen with this child if it goes again in 8th grade? Do I have to physically go there instead of giving up my van route that I bring your kids to your district to go and fight for my child? Again,
Have you spoken to?
I've spoken to Lagoe, I have went to Sarah. Actually, my son Steven, who was taken out, was face planted in a wall from Officer Nick in North Freeland School. Then taken 2 kids apiece.
We will get together.
Yeah, I my son does.
I would also like to address the bullying issue personally because I have been bullied. It was last year. I was outside standing waiting for the bus. And this one girl felt the need to take a picture of me and make a commentary on how I dress. And yes, I do dress a little different. I do like being colorful and sparkly. But
you look great.
Thank you. But I don't think it gives anybody the right to take a picture of me on school property to then post it to social media talking about what is she wearing. And then after I went to faculty and staff, like they told me to, nothing was done. Then after nothing was done, my mom came to the school, again nothing was done. After that, she then posted a picture in school again of, oh, that dumb VICTH She thought she was really gonna get me in trouble for snitching on me. My teacher asked me why'd I get suspended for half a day. That was the punishment, half a day of suspension. Why'd I get suspended for half of a day? And I told him the reason, and all he did was laugh. And also, it is not only with the students. I've had a time where I was dressed in a long skirt, floor length, with a black long sleeve shirt on, and 2 staff members felt the need to make commentary saying, I'm dressed like I'm going to a Halloween party. So much so that other students had to come up to me and tell me. I don't think that's right at all, and you're all worried about having such a safe environment and healthy learning for children, when all I did last year was get harassed based on how I dressed, whether I was in dress code or not. I've had teachers every day come up to me, you're not allowed to wear that, you can't wear this, but never enforced it. They never was like, okay, let's go to the office and dress code you. They just felt the need to diminish me as a person on my physical appearance. I feel like just because some people are more privileged in this school does not give it the right to bully. Because I know personally, if I was to pick out any one of these kids here, or even one of you guys, and single you out and take a picture of you, and then make a meme about it and have people laugh at you, you would be furious. You know how I know you would be furious? Because last year we had an Instagram page where we took pictures of teachers, and then all of a sudden, everybody's phone was taken away for like a month. It was unacceptable. But when it happened to me, it was fine.
Thank you.
President of the Dominican House of Hazleton, Pennsylvania. The kids that talk before me, I have to clasp my hands because they demonstrate that they got skills in the school. When you see the education, they know how to speak and claim the right. We have to say thank you to the school because we know your sacrifice for those students. We know your sacrifice and you are fighting against or provide the safety for the school. We know about that. As a concerned parents that we are in the Hazleton area, we understand your concern. But we have to talk about different things. I am accounting, and I got a master in public administration. And I got a 2 GED, one for Dominican Republic, one for the United States. And I got a master's degree here in the United States. That doesn't mean that I am a perfect father. Because somebody who maybe do not speak English is better, maybe a better father than me. This is not about who you are, this is what you are doing in your house. The best education coming from the school, from the house. And the school provide the correct education according with what the kids need to receive the correct career for the future. But what is the point? It's about the time. When my father, in 1950, used a dress, he used a dress different like me. I like to dress like that. That doesn't mean that my son like to dress like me. It's different times. We have to connect people. We, the people, we have to connect the times. You guys got our respect, but you have to understand that the new kids, they got a different dress, different coat. You know, they got different music. Maybe you like the tango, the rock and roll, but now they like the merengue, reggaeton, something like that. It's different. We are in a different time. We have to pay attention to that. We have to connect the community in different ways, not just with the math, not just with the science. It's connected with the skills and listen what the kids are talking. We have to listen to the kids. What is the school? The school provides instruction to whom? The kids. So if the kids deny to come to the school because they disagree with the dress code, who are you gonna teach? We're not gonna teach anybody. So my perception is that we need to listen. You got our respect. We know that you are the board of education, and I hope in the future see somebody from the Hispanic community have a seat there. We need representation. But right now, the best connection is to talk to the kids, listen to the kids, and pay attention because they are the future. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn. Cannot come up again.
You're being a tyrant, Linda.
You work for us. Remember that.
Quit being a tyrant, Linda.
I just want to make a comment. So you may disrespect everybody in this room, but you will
I
not.
do not
Listen,
disrespect.
You're a tyrant.
Give me your lip. You just did. You are no better than anybody in this building. You don't have to say it. It's all for your face.
Yeah. They comment, please. You need to stop. Anyway,
Miss Pelosi.
these beautiful kids is who you are to protect.
You're forgetting one.
Not your reputation. Every single individual child, everyone in this school district matter. You need to do what's right by these children. These children have more respect, that what I see, than you do.
Amen.
Yes, amen.
And that's sad. That's sad.
We have one comment. We have adjourned.
I just,
Go ahead.
I have one question. I think for you, Mr. Corrado. West Hazelton School. The heating issues there. Okay? Have they been corrected? Correct. There's portable air conditioners are in that, they're in that building.
It's on its way, it's coming, yes.
They're not there, because they weren't there yesterday. Are they gonna be there for the first day of school?
Cannot answer that.
People are speaking and we're just gonna go ahead and leave.
I can get an answer.
Top-notch people right there.
Everybody understands the supply issue right now. Quite honestly, they're trying very hard.
Thank you, Mr. Pelosi.
Like a sample, like a